You're here today because something inside you is yearning for change. You feel it in your bones, that restless energy pushing you to become more, to be better. But let me ask you, what's holding you back? What's stopping you from stepping into the shoes of the person you dream of becoming? I'll tell you what it is. It's fear. It's doubt. It's that nagging voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, not ready enough, not brave enough, but I'm here to tell you that voice is lying to you. You are enough. You've always been enough. And it's time to start acting like it. Think about the person you want to be. Really think about them. What do they look like? How do they carry themselves? What habits do they have? What choices do they make? Now, here's the million-dollar question. Why aren't you already living like that person? I know what you're thinking, but it feels fake. It feels like I'm pretending to be someone I'm not. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, that's more than okay. That's exactly where you need to start. You see, change doesn't happen overnight. It's not a lightning bolt that suddenly transforms you into your ideal self. It's a process, a journey of small steps and daily choices. And sometimes, yes, it means acting in ways that feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar at first. The more you act like the person you want to be, the more you become that person. It's not about faking it till you make it. It's about practicing until it becomes natural. It's about building new neural pathways in your brain, creating new habits, and slowly but surely reshaping your identity. Think about it this way. If you want to be a runner, you don't wait until you feel like a runner to start running. You put on those shoes, you step out the door, and you start moving your feet. At first, it might feel awkward. You might feel out of place like an imposter among the real runners. But with each step, with each run, you're becoming more of a runner. Your body adapts, your mindset shifts, and before you know it, running isn't something you do, it's part of the same principle applies to any aspect of your life you want to change. Want to be more confident? Start standing up straight, making eye contact, and speaking with conviction, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Want to be more productive? Start setting goals, creating schedules, and holding yourself accountable, even if it feels like you're just going through the motions initially. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person started by taking that first, often uncertain step. The difference is they kept going. They pushed through the discomfort, the self-doubt, and the fear of looking foolish. They understood that growth happens outside of our comfort zones. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Change is hard. It's messy. There will be days when you'll want to give up, when you'll feel like you're not making any progress, but those are the days that matter most. Those are the days when you need to double down on your commitment to yourself. Here's the truth. I mean, you are capable of so much more than you realize. You have untapped potential just waiting to be unleashed. But that potential won't unlock itself. You have to take action. You have to be willing to feel uncomfortable, to stumble, to make mistakes. Because it's through those experiences that you grow. Think about a time in your life when you achieved something you once thought was impossible. Maybe it was passing a difficult exam, landing a job you thought was out of your league, or overcoming a personal challenge. How did you feel before you accomplished it? Scared? Unsure? Like you were in over your head? And how did you feel after? Proud? That's the power of action. That's the magic that happens when you start behaving like the person you want to be, even when you don't feel ready. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Picture your ideal self. See them clearly in your mind. What are they doing? How are they interacting with others? How do they handle challenges? Really immerse yourself in this vision. Got it? Good. Now open your eyes. That person you just imagined, they're not some distant, unattainable figure. They're you. They're that's waiting to emerge. And the only thing standing between you and that version of yourself is that. So here's what I want you to do. Starting today, I want you to make one small change. Choose one characteristic of your ideal self and start embodying it. If you want to be more organized, start by tidying your workspace If you want to be healthier, start by drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. If you want to be more compassionate, start by performing one random act of kindness each day. It might feel small. It might feel insignificant. But I promise you, these small actions add up. They create momentum. They build habits. And habits, my friends, are the building blocks of character. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Some of you might be thinking, isn't this just pretending? Isn't it inauthentic to act like someone I'm not? And I hear you. It's a valid concern. But let me ask you this. Is it more authentic to stay stuck in patterns that no longer serve you, or to actively work towards becoming the best version of yourself? Authenticity isn't about staying the same. It's about aligning your actions with your values and aspirations. It's about growing, evolving, and becoming more fully yourself. And sometimes that process involves trying on new behaviors, new mindsets, new ways of being in the world. Think of it like learning a new language. When you first start speaking, you feel clumsy. The words don't flow naturally. You have to think about every sentence before you say it, but does that mean you're being inauthentic? Of course not. You're learning, you're growing, you're expanding your capabilities. And with time and practice, that new language becomes a part of you. The same is true for personal growth. When you start acting like the person you want to be, it might feel awkward at first. You might feel like an imposter. But with each action, each decision, each moment of staying true to your aspirations, you're becoming more authentically you. Now, I want to be clear about something. This isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's not about putting on a fake persona or trying to live up to someone else's expectations. This is about becoming the fullest, most realized version of yourself. It's about closing the gap between who you are now and who you know you can be. And here's the beautiful thing. As you start acting like the person you want to be, you'll begin to see changes not just in your behavior, but in how you think and feel. Your mindset will shift. Your confidence will grow. You'll start to believe in yourself more deeply. It's like a feedback loop. The more you act like your ideal self, the more you feel like your ideal self, and the more you feel like your ideal self, the more naturally those behaviors come to you. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in the best possible way. This isn't about perfection. It's not about becoming some flawless, idealized version of yourself. We're all human. We all have flaws and weaknesses. The goal isn't to erase those parts of yourself, but to grow beyond your current limitations. In fact, embracing your imperfections is a crucial part of this journey, because when you accept yourself fully, strengths and weaknesses are like you create a solid foundation for growth. You're not trying to become someone else. You're trying to become more fully yourself. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if I try to change and it doesn't work? And to that I say, so what if you fail? Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every setback, every mistake, every moment of falling short is an opportunity to learn, to adjust your approach, to come back stronger. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall down countless times. But do we look at those falls as failures? Of course not. We celebrate each attempt, each wobbly step, because we know that's how they learn. We know that each fall brings them closer to walking confidently. The same is true for you. Each time you try to embody your ideal self and fall short, you're learning, you're growing, you're getting valuable feedback about what works and what doesn't. And most importantly, you're building resilience. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And let me tell you, there's no better way to build resilience than by consistently showing up for yourself day after day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Because here's the truth. The person you want to be doesn't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait until they feel ready. They show up. They do the work. They face their fears head on, and that's exactly what I'm asking you to do. I want you to commit to yourself. Commit to your growth. Commit to becoming the person you know you can be. And that commitment starts with action. It starts with behaving as if you're already that person. Now, I know this might sound daunting. You might be wondering, where do I even start? And that's a great question. The key is to start small. Remember, we're not looking for overnight transformation. We're looking for consistent, sustainable change. So here's what I want you to do. Tonight, when you go home, I want you to write down 3 characteristics of your ideal self. Maybe it's confidence, discipline, and kindness. Maybe it's creativity, assertiveness, and whatever resonates with you. Then for each of those characteristics, I want you to come up with one small, concrete action you can take tomorrow to embody that trait. If it's confidence, maybe you'll speak up in a meeting at work. If it's discipline, maybe you'll wake up 30 minutes earlier to work out. If it's kindness, maybe you'll pay a genuine compliment to a stranger. The specific actions don't matter as much as the intention behind them. What matters is that you're taking steps, however small, to align your behavior with your aspirations. I want you to commit to doing these 3 things every day for the next week. No matter how you feel, no matter what obstacles come up, you're going to follow through on these commitments to yourself. Why? Because consistency is key. It's not about making grand gestures or dramatic changes. It's about showing up for yourself day in and day out. It's about proving to yourself that you can be relied upon, that your word to yourself matters. As you do this, I want you to pay attention to how you feel. Notice the sense of accomplishment when you follow through on your commitments. Notice how your perception of yourself starts to shift. Notice how others respond to you differently. As you start to act like the person you want to be, you'll find that it becomes easier to make other positive changes in your life. It's like a domino effect. One small change leads to another and another. And before you know it, you're living a life that aligns with your deepest values and aspirations. But let me be clear, it isn't always going to be smooth sailing. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's necessary. Because true growth isn't a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs, twists and turns. The key is to keep moving forward, to learn from each experience, to use each setback as fuel for your next step forward. As you embark on this journey of personal growth, not everyone in your life will understand. Some people might be confused by the changes they see in you. Some might even try to pull you back into old patterns. But don't let that deter you. Your growth is not about them. It's about you. It's about becoming the person you know you're meant to be. And sometimes that means outgrowing certain relationships or situations. Remember, you're not responsible for other people's reactions to your growth. You're only responsible for showing up for yourself, for honoring your commitments to yourself, for taking those steps towards becoming your ideal self. Now, I want to address something that might be coming up for some of you. You might be thinking, but I don't even know who I want to be. How can I act like my ideal self if I'm not sure what that looks like? And that's a valid question. Self-discovery is a crucial part of this journey. But here's the thing. You don't need to have it all figured out to start. In fact, acting as if can be a powerful tool for self-discovery. By trying on different behaviors, different ways of being in the world, you learn more about yourself. You discover what resonates with you, what feels authentic, what brings you joy and fulfillment. It's like trying on different outfits. You might not know exactly what style suits you best until you start experimenting. So if you're feeling unsure about your direction, I encourage you to explore. Try embodying different qualities that you admire. Act with more courage one day, more compassion the next. Be more assertive in one situation, more patient in another. Pay attention to how each of these feels. What lights you up? What feels like it's bringing out the best in. This exploration is not about finding a perfect, unchanging ideal self. It's about getting to know yourself better, about uncovering your values, your strengths, your passions. It's about becoming more fully you. And as you do this, I want you to be gentle with yourself. This process of growth and self-discovery can be challenging. There will be moments of self-doubt, moments when you question everything. That's normal. That's part of the process. But in those moments, I want you to remember this. You are worthy of your own time and effort. You are worthy of growth. You are worthy of becoming the person you want to be. Too often, we put our own growth on the back burner. We prioritize everything and everyone else, our jobs, our families, our responsibilities. And while those things are important, you can't pour from an empty cup. By investing in your own growth, by becoming the best version of yourself, you become better equipped to show up for all the other areas of your life. So I want you to make a promise to yourself right now. Promise that you will prioritize your growth. Promise that you will take action, even when it feels uncomfortable. Promise that you will keep showing up for yourself, day after day, no matter what. Because the truth, the world needs you to step into your full potential. It needs your unique gifts, your unique perspective, your unique contributions. By becoming the person you want to be, you're not just changing your own life, you're changing the world around you. Think about the ripple effect of your actions. When you become more confident, you inspire others to believe in themselves. When you become more compassionate, you create a kinder world. When you pursue your passions with dedication, you motivate others to follow their dreams. Your growth isn't just about you. It's about all the lives you touch, all the people you influence, all the positive change you can create in the world. So I ask him, what kind of impact do you want to have? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? How do you want to be remembered? These are big questions, I know. But they're important ones to consider. Because when you have a clear vision of the impact you want to make, it becomes easier to align your actions with that vision. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. Your vision might evolve over time, and that's okay. What matters is that you're moving forward, that you're growing, that you're becoming more of who you're meant to be. Now, I want to circle back to where we started. We talked about how it might feel fake at first to act like the person you want to be, but I want you to reframe that feeling. Instead of thinking of it as fake, think of it as practice. Just like an athlete practices their sport or a musician practices their instrument, you're practicing being your best self. And with practice comes improvement. With practice comes confidence. With practice, what once felt awkward and unnatural starts to feel like second nature. So embrace the practice. Embrace the awkwardness. Embrace the discomfort. Because on the other side of that discomfort is growth. On the other side of that discomfort is the person you're striving to become. There's something else to remember. This journey of personal growth isn't a destination. It's a lifelong process. There's no finish line where you suddenly become your perfect self and the work is done. The beauty is in the journey itself, in the continuous unfolding of your potential. So don't get too caught up in reaching some imagined endpoint. Instead, focus on the day-to-day process of becoming. Celebrate the small victories. Learn from the setbacks. Enjoy the journey of discovering more about yourself and what you're capable of. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with some practical strategies to help you on this journey of becoming your ideal self. Because while inspiration is important, it's action that truly leads to transformation. First and foremost, start your day with intention. Each morning, before you do anything else, take a few moments to connect with your vision of your ideal self. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and visualize yourself embodying the qualities you aspire. Feel the confidence, the strength, the compassion, whatever traits you're working to develop. Let that vision guide your actions throughout the day. Next, create a mantra or affirmation that encapsulates the person you're becoming. It might be something like, I am becoming more confident and resilient every day, or I choose to act with kindness and integrity in every situation. Repeat this to yourself throughout the day, especially in moments when you feel challenged or doubtful. Remember, your mind believes what you tell it. By consistently affirming your growth and potential, you're rewiring your brain to support your transformation. Another powerful strategy is to surround yourself with reminders of your goals and aspirations. Create a vision board with images and words that represent your ideal self. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. Change your phone background to an inspiring quote or image. Fill your environment with cues that reinforce your commitment to growth. Now let's talk about habits. We've touched on this before, but it bears repeating. Your daily habits shape who you become. So take a hard look at your current routines. If not, it's time to make some changes. Start small. Choose one habit that your ideal self would have and commit to practicing it every day for the next month. Maybe it's reading for 30 minutes or meditating or exercising. Whatever it is, make it non-negotiable. Show up for yourself day in and day out. People make new habits stick. Tie them to existing routines. For example, if you want to start journaling, do it right after you brush your teeth in the morning. By anchoring new habits to establish ones, you make them much easier to maintain. Now, I want to address something that many people struggle with on this journey of personal growth: the fear of judgment. You might worry about what others will think as you start to change and grow. You might fear being seen as inauthentic or trying too hard. But here's the truth, mine don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. The people who truly care about you will support your growth. They'll cheer you on as you become more fully yourself. And those who criticize or try to hold you back, well, that says more about them than it does about you. Your growth might make some people uncomfortable. It might challenge their perceptions of you or make them confront their own need for change, but that's not your burden to bear. Your responsibility is to yourself, to becoming the best version of you. So step into your growth unapologetically. Own your journey. Be proud of the steps you're taking to improve yourself. Because there's nothing more authentic than actively working to become the person you know you can be. Now let's talk about setbacks, because they will happen. You'll have days when you fall back into old patterns. You'll face challenges that shake your confidence. You'll make mistakes. And in those moments, it's easy to feel like you're failing, like all your efforts have been for nothing. But I want you to reframe those moments. They're not failures. They're feedback. They're opportunities to learn, to adjust your approach, to come back stronger. Every setback is a chance to practice resilience, to recommit to your goals, to prove to yourself that you can overcome obstacles. So when you face a setback, and don't beat yourself up, don't use it as an excuse to give up. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow stronger, to become even more like the person I want to be? And remember, progress isn't always linear. Sometimes you need to take a step back to leap forward. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Keep showing up. Keep putting in the work, and I promise you, you will see results. Now, I want to talk about something that's often overlooked in discussions of personal growth, the power of service. As you work on becoming your ideal self, don't forget to look outward. Find ways to contribute to others to make a... Why is this important? Because service takes you out of your own head. It gives you perspective. It reminds you that you're part of something bigger than yourself. And often, it's through serving others that we discover our own strengths and passions. So as you continue on this journey of personal growth, ask yourself, how can I use my growing strengths to help others? How can I make a positive difference in the world around me? By aligning your personal growth with a sense of purpose and contribution, you'll find even more motivation and fulfillment. And here's another crucial aspect of becoming your ideal self, learning to embrace discomfort. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. The person you want to be exists on the other side of your fears, your doubts, your limiting beliefs. So I challenge you to do something that scares you every day. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting, trying a new hobby, or striking up a conversation with a stranger. The specific action doesn't matter as much as the willingness to push your boundaries. As you do this, you'll discover something amazing. Your comfort zone expands. What once seemed terrifying becomes manageable. You become more confident, more resilient, more capable of handling whatever life. Now, let's talk about the power of your inner dialogue. The way you talk to yourself has a profound impact on who you become. So, start paying attention to your self-talk. Are you constantly criticizing yourself? Are you focusing on your flaws and shortcomings? If so, it's time to change that narrative. Start speaking to yourself with kindness and encouragement. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Acknowledge your strengths. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself, talk to yourself as you would a dear friend with compassion and understanding. Remember, you're not perfect, and you don't need to be. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. It's becoming a little bit better each day. So be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to someone you love. As we continue on this journey of personal growth, I want to emphasize the importance of self-reflection. Set aside time regularly, maybe once a week or once a month, to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, am I moving in the direction of my ideal self? What's working well? What needs adjustment? This regular self-reflection allows you to course correct as needed. It helps you stay aligned with your goals and values. It ensures that you're not just going through the motions, but truly growing and evolving During these moments of reflection, celebrate your progress. Acknowledge how far you've come. It's easy to focus on how far you still have to go, but don't forget to look back and appreciate the journey you've already made. Now, I want to touch on something that's crucial for sustainable personal growth: self-care. As you work on becoming your ideal self, don't neglect your basic needs. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, moving your body, and taking time to relax and recharge. Self-care isn't selfish. Essential. You can't pour from an empty cup. By taking care of your physical and emotional well-being, you're creating a strong foundation for growth and transformation. And speaking of foundations, let's talk about the power of education and continuous learning. Your ideal self is likely someone who's knowledgeable, skilled, and always growing intellectually. So make learning a priority. Read books that challenge your thinking. Take courses in areas that interest you. Seek out mentors who can guide you. Stay curious about the world around you. The more you learn, the more you grow, and the closer you come to embodying your ideal self. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to circle back to where we started. We talked about how it might feel fake at first to act like the person you want to be. But by now, I hope you understand that it's not about being fake. It's about being intentional. It's about making conscious choices that align with your values and aspirations. It's about taking control of your own development rather than passively waiting for change to happen. And here's the beautiful thing. The more you act like the person you want to be, the more you become that person. It's not just about external behaviors. It's about rewiring your brain, shifting your mindset, transforming your identity from the inside out. Start today. Make a commitment to yourself. Commit to taking action even when it feels uncomfortable. Commit to pushing your boundaries. Commit to showing up as the best version of yourself day after day. You have incredible potential within you. You have the power to shape your own destiny, to become the person you've always dreamed of being. But that potential won't unlock itself. You have to take action. You have to be willing to feel uncomfortable, to stumble, to make mistakes. Because it's through those experiences that you grow. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person started by taking that first, often uncertain step. The difference is they kept going, they pushed through the discomfort, the self-doubt, and the fear of looking foolish. They understood that growth happens outside of our comfort zones. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start now. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Because the world needs you. It needs your unique gifts, your unique perspective, your unique contributions. By becoming the best version of yourself, you're not just changing your own life, you're changing the world around you. Think about the ripple effect of your actions. When you become more confident, you inspire others to believe in themselves. When you become more compassionate, you create a kinder world. When you pursue your passions with dedication, you motivate others to follow their dreams. Your growth isn't just about you. It's about all the lives you touch, all the people you influence, all the positive change you can create in the world. I ask you one last time. Who do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to create for yourself? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? Whatever your answers to these questions, know this. You have the power to make it happen. You have the ability to become that person, to create that life. It won't be easy. It won't happen overnight. There will be challenges, setbacks, moments of doubt, but I promise you it will be worth it. Because on the other side of those challenges is growth. On the other side of those setbacks is resilience. On the other side of those doubts is the person you're meant to be. So go forth with courage. Act with intention. Embrace the journey of becoming. And remember, every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your ideal self. You've got this. I believe in you. Now it's time to believe in yourself. It's time to start acting like the person you want to be. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. But right now, in this moment, the future you is waiting. It's time to become them. Thank you.